Hey guys, and welcome back to Mad About Skin. One of the hottest trends in skincare at the moment is something called masseter muscle Botox. That's when Botox is injected into the masseter muscle, which is here, along the jawline. The desired outcome of this treatment is to slim down the jaw profile, give the face what is traditionally seen as a more feminine look, and also to remove some of the bulk from the chin and the jaw profile. This is something that a lot of celebrities have purportedly had done, so of course lots of people want to experiment to get the same results. This is something that I actually had done a couple of months ago for very different reasons than to slim down the jawline that I'm going to get onto later in this video, but it's something that honestly I regret. I want to share my experiences in this video so that you guys, if you're tempted to try this out, go into it with your eyes wide open and know all the side effects and kind of the results that you can expect. Sit back, relax, and let's talk masseter muscle Botox. Now, before we get into this video, I would love to know your thoughts, feelings, and opinions when it comes to this topic, so sound off in the comments section below. I kind of want to keep this non-judgmental. Whilst I'm not the biggest fan of Botox, I think there are alternatives that for me just happen to work better. I know a lot of people swear by it and get great results, and I think it all comes down to your personal preference, your individual skin goals, and of course your budget. So let me know what your thoughts, feelings, and opinions are, because I really want to get that conversation going. No matter what your thoughts are on Botox, if you like me, you like the channel, and you enjoy the content that we create here on Mad About Skin, don't forget to also gently caress that like button, because it's a fantastic way of making sure as many people as possible see this video, and I think it's a really important message to kind of get out there loud and clear for anyone that might be considering this treatment. So first off, let's talk why I decided to have masseter muscle Botox. Well, it wasn't for the jaw slimming or the anti-aging benefits that a lot of people seem to be reaching for this treatment for nowadays. I actually had it in consultation with my dentist because I was experiencing a lot of lower jaw tension and pain. I'm also someone that's prone to teeth grinding overnight. This is something that a lot of people experience. It can be due to stress or just, the makeup of our facial structure. I tend to clench my jaw an awful lot, and I had an overactive jaw muscle that was leading to that pain and discomfort. I tried mouth guards, which were prescribed by the dentist, and they worked kind of, but I still was getting that grinding and that pain. She then recommended that we try a small amount of Botox in the jaw muscle to kind of relax it down, reduce the clenching, smooth everything out, and minimize that teeth grinding overnight. From that perspective, honestly, it really worked. I don't get the pain anymore, and definitely in combination with the mouth guard that I use, I definitely don't have the teeth grinding issue that I had before. So yes, from that perspective, it definitely worked. She recommended that I have it done once every year just to keep everything maintained, and I definitely will consider it for those benefits in a year's time when I'm kind of due that review. However, I got so many side effects with it and things that maybe I didn't expect. I want to share them with you in today's video, because if you're going down this route and considering this treatment purely for the aesthetic, for the jaw slimming, for the anti-aging benefits, I think there are a lot of things you need to be aware of before you do this. That's kind of the purpose of me sharing my experiences openly today. Let's start with the treatment itself. Oh, was it painful? I'm someone that has a relatively high pain threshold. I have had procedures in the past. I had Botox done a long time ago. Like I say, I didn't really like the results or necessarily see the benefits, which is why I didn't continue with it. But this was like 4 or 5 times more painful than traditional styles of Botox. That's definitely something that you want to be aware of. It's also, I don't know, I think in your mind you tend to clench as it's happening, which again exacerbates that discomfort and the pain with it happening. I worked under a professional, a dentist that has got years worth of experience doing this, so I don't think it was the technique that was at fault. I think this is just naturally quite a painful and discomfort inducing procedure, so that's definitely something that you'll want to bear in mind. Whilst I was happy with the results in terms of the lower jaw pain and eliminating that teeth grinding that I was suffering with, the reasons why I wouldn't really recommend it for the jaw slimming and anti-aging are as follows. Let's just start with the bruising and the swelling. I don't think I was really prepared for the amount of swelling that I would actually get. I filmed some of the content here on Mad About Skin in advance, so if I do have some of your swelling and stuff, I was able to use pre-recorded videos to kind of fill the gap before that went down. But it did take around a week for that swelling to go down, and it was very noticeable. I'd say, it was something that people would actually point out, that hadn't seen me in a period of time. They'd kind of ask, what's going on with that? It was quite noticeable. I did everything I needed to, the ice packs, I was taking the pills that I was prescribed for any of the discomfort, but it still was pretty intense in terms of the swelling, and the bruising coupled with that kind of just exacerbated that whole experience. Whilst that swelling is kind of temporary, the swelling period goes down after a week, which in the grand scheme of things is a short period of time. One of the side effects, which is kind of permanent, is a sense that your lower jaw is kind of dislocated from the rest of your face. I know that sounds really weird, but it's definitely a strange sensation that takes a long time to get used to. Also, because you're relaxing the jaw muscle, you don't have the same strength of bite that you did before this treatment. Now, for me, that was beneficial because that was one of the main reasons that I was getting tooth damage and that lower jaw pain. So I wanted to relax the bite and the depth of the bite that I was getting in order to offset that. So in that sense, it really worked. But if I was having this for purely cosmetic reasons to slim down the jaw for some anti-aging benefit, I really don't think it's worth it for the limitations that it comes with. I think some of the things I now struggle to eat that I could previously, like sourdough toast. Found this out the other day, used to love sourdough, toasted it, but I just couldn't bite it apart the way that I used to be able to. So that's something that definitely is out of my food enjoyment profile. Also, things like any hard candies are definitely out. You know, particularly crispy chips or crisps. Again, can't really go there with that. And apples, you know, you don't have the bite potential to really get into it, so you either have to cut it up or you have to take it very, very slow. Whilst a lot of people might say, really, what are you moaning about? Is that such a big deal? It absolutely is when you realise the range of foods that are no longer kind of accessible to you that maybe were. For me, it was worth it because, like I say, the pain and discomfort was something that really, really bothered me, as did the teeth grinding. However, if I was limiting the range of foods that I could enjoy just for purely cosmetic reasons, I really don't think that's worth it. And even after like a month of this, I'm still adjusting to the sensation and feeling that the lower jaw, it kind of feels a lot different to the rest of the face. It's taken over a month for me kind of to get used to that, and it's still a work in progress. Again, I don't think that's a side effect I would necessarily put up with if it was just purely for cosmetic reasons. Finally, in terms of the side effects I personally experienced, I did notice that it took some adjustment in terms of my speech to really almost like retrain the face to be able to work out kind of the different muscle interactions and strengths versus what I had before. This, for me, actually didn't take a whole lot of time. You know, it was just an adjustment period, but I have heard stories of people taking a whole long period to kind of get their sense of speech and everything back in equilibrium. Again, if you're suffering a lot of pain and discomfort, that is probably worth that transition period in order to be pain-free. But for purely cosmetic reasons, I don't think that's worth it. There are a whole other suite of side effects that you can get with this treatment. I'm going to leave a link to some studies done on them below. Things such as prolonged headaches, you can get lower jaw drooping, all these things that you need to be aware of. One thing I think is super alarming when it comes to this treatment is there are a lot of beauticians just administering it kind of willy-nilly without fully informing people of the potential side effects. There's a lot of loopholes when it comes to Botox globally, and so you don't necessarily have to be a fully qualified medical professional or a dentist in order to administer it. That definitely needs to change. I went into this with my eyes wide open. I worked with a dentist that had been doing this treatment for years. She really knew the dynamics of the face, the muscles, the jaw, and how everything interacted. So she told me about the things such as the limitations in terms of food that I could enjoy afterwards, and really shared everything with me so I could make an informed decision. It's definitely worked for me in terms of that lower jaw pain and definitely minimize the teeth grinding, all things that I wanted to get out of it. So from that perspective, definitely is worth it and something that I would consider again in the future. The reason I think it was a little bit nightmarish is if I was going into this without all of those side effects explained, I would have been horrified by the side effects when they did materialize. I also don't think those side effects are worth it for purely cosmetic reasons. Now, this is just my thoughts, feelings, and opinions, and you guys might totally disagree. But I look at what I went through in terms of having to adjust your speech, the swelling, the pain, the discomfort, the limitations in terms of food that I can enjoy, even things such as chewing gum. It's kind of like a no now. Things that I used to enjoy before. I don't think that's actually worth it for a few cosmetic alterations that you guys might disagree. A lot of people have, since when they found out that I've had this treatment, said, yes, but did it slim the jawline? So clearly people are still interested in this treatment. I actually think it did. Now, this isn't something I necessarily wanted. I was actually quite happy with my jawline, but I've definitely noticed, and you can see if you look at videos from like 2 months ago versus this one, if I look head on, you can definitely see that the jawline is slimmed down. It's definitely taken some of the bulk of it out, which, you know what, it does go to show that as a treatment, if administered correctly, can work. I just still, for that slimming down the jawline, I just don't think it's worth it for the side effects, which is why I wanted to film this video and share with you my like MASSETER Botox before and after, so you can kind of go into this if you're tempted to have this treatment with your eyes wide open. I would say make sure that you read up on everything. Don't just treat this as like a temporary injectable. This is something that actually has a much more longer term mechanism of action, and I think you need to read up on all the side effects. And my top tip to anyone is make sure you go to a fully trained medical professional. I know that kind of goes without saying, but sometimes that's just not the case. Someone that really knows what they're doing, because you need to inject the right amount, you need to do it in the right areas to avoid some of the other side effects such as the the lower jaw drooping or the inability to smile, which, let's be honest, nobody wants. Make sure you go into this with a fully trained medical professional and ask every single question that goes through your mind, because you need to do so. You need to go through this with your eyes wide open, knowing all the benefits and the risks in equal measure. Hopefully this video has kind of enlightened you on a procedure that I had. The reason I didn't make a big thing of it at the time is it wasn't a cosmetic procedure for me. It was something that I did in collaboration with my dentist in order to treat something that was causing me a lot of pain and discomfort. From that perspective, it's really worked. I think if you're going in for it for cosmetic reasons, I don't think it's worth those side effects. But sound off and let me know in the thoughts and feelings in the comment section below. And wherever you are in the world, guys, stay safe, stay well, and love your skin. Take care. Bye.